complex conditions to the questions you've always wanted answered. Top medical experts.
The cost of maintaining that bed on a daily basis 24/7, because an ICU is a 24/7 unit. One single bed can cost between 2 million and 4 million per day.
Real questions from the viewers, practical answers you can trust. Now, join us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. as we talk openly about issues that affect you and your family. Health Q&A talk show, your health, your say. To you who is still tuned into UBC TV. Thank you for keeping it locked with us. My name is Sophia Matovu and it's the Health Q&A, your health, your say. Today, we take a little bit of a twist. You know, we are used to discussing more of the, how should I say, the medical jargon, but now this is real life experience. Let me first tell you about it. Felix is a Ugandan journalist and former sports and entertainment writer who became deeply addicted to alcohol during his career in nightlife and media. That is, during his career in nightlife and media. His job exposed him to free alcohol, parties, nightlife, which accelerated the addiction, you know. Now you will find that he is a powerful real life example of overcoming alcohol addiction. Felix Epal founded a support initiative. It is called Besania Counseling and Wellness Center to help others overcome the same. You might be asking yourself, how is addiction related to the medical world? Because remember, for most people, the best thing they will do is rush you to Butabika or Where or any wellness center because it's got to do with the mind. So by all means, it is health. But I would like to thank Felix for taking the bold step to come and participate in this discussion, which is overcoming alcohol addiction, lessons from real life recovery. Felix, good morning.
Good morning, Sophia, and thank you so much for hosting me on the show.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you a bit about Felix as well. In addition to that, when I was at a time when I used to do a lifestyle magazine, he was a person I used to interact with a lot. And you know, a lot of temptations do happen in that space. But Felix, it's very, very good to have him back on board here. Felix, to start with, I would like you to just tell the viewers very briefly about how you ended up slipping into alcohol addiction, because if some of us were also down that road but were able to manage and you went down, how did that happen?
Thank you so much, Sophie. Alcohol, slipping down the journey started basically without me knowing. It started with excitement, started with enjoyment. It started with, this is something that makes me feel good. This is something that gets me in the vibe, as the norm is. And gradually you take it as something that you should accompany yourself with every single time. It's like when you're at an event, there always has to be drinks, okay? Be it soft drinks or hard drinks. Now, you just make it part and parcel of you. It becomes a habit, it becomes a way of life. That every single time you're out somewhere, even if it is a function where there's no alcohol, you have to have some on the side for yourself. You know, a function cannot happen without you not having alcohol. Or when the day ends, as clockwork, you have to first get a drink, as a must. Before you go to sleep, you have to first take something. Then you put it in your mind that, oh, I cannot do this without taking a drink. So to you at the start, it's actually normal. It's routine. There's no problem with it. But the issues start coming up when every time you get frustrated, every time something doesn't work out right, every time you need something to morale boost you, you run to a substance. Now that substance just doesn't become your solution. It becomes your number one go-to factor. Without it, you are anxious. Without it, your mind can't function right. The brain is a very peculiar organ. It somehow convinces you that you cannot do anything without this accompaniment. So every time you're faced with a challenge, you look for you look for the substance. And the ironic bit is, every time you achieve something, let's say it is a proposal that went through, let's say it's a business deal, and it goes on right. Even small little victories. You know, you wanted something and you finally get it. I'm a very, very big sports lover and enthusiast. You're supporting a team and it wins. You'll even borrow because you know that I need to drink, I need to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So you find that the alcohol is part of you when you have a problem. it has to be there. When you are celebrating, it has to be there. When you have mood swings, somehow your mind tells you it will soothe you. When you, in times of loss, you tell yourself, I cannot go through this without alcohol. If you lose a friend, a loved one, if you lose money, or in times of, say you're walking on the street and someone snatches your phone, be like, the phone is gone. Let me first go and drink. So even before you think of any other immediate solution, it is the first paramount thing. So to yourself, you don't see it that you're digging a hole. Gradually, you're digging this hole. Gradually, you're doing this hole. One, you're telling your body that I cannot function without you. The brain is also getting convinced to it. So your neurons, your whole system gets wired to that. And when it gets wired to that, you stop thinking of quality. If it's beer, if it's whiskey, now if it's not there, you'll lower the standard. Then your brain will tell you, after all, the end effect is still the same. Whether I've taken a very expensive scotch or rum, or whether I've taken what's the end effect? I'm going to get high. What do I need? I need to get into that particular feeling. So the quality now is watered down. So you just end up, as long as it's mood altering and it's fermented and it's alcoholic, it will do.
Now, for how long did you sleep, or how long did it take you to be in that state of addiction? After, like, for how many years were you in that state until you realized that, no, I think I'm treading the wrong path?
Sophie, I think when I look back and us sitting here today, by the way, on the 1st of March, I celebrated my first anniversary, my first year sober. 6, which makes me 1 year, 24 days clean without any alcoholic substance in my body. And I'm very proud of myself. And to anyone watching out there, recovery is real. Recovery is possible. It is not easy, but it is very possible. So to answer your question, I abused alcohol for over a decade. Over a decade. Not using, abusing alcohol for over a decade. And I am testament that we are not our mistakes, we are not our past. You have the power to rewrite the narrative if you just get that willpower and say enough is enough. You see, so many times, Sophie, in life, we lie to people. We lie to our bosses, we lie to our friends, we lie to our partners, right, for various reasons. But the one single person in this world that you should never lie to is yourself. Once you sit down and you tell yourself the truth, that is when you reach a point of self-realization. There is no counselor in the world, there is no therapist who will help you to reach a point of self-realization beyond yourself. And that happens by you being honest with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror, reflect and say, no, this is not the journey I should be taking. This alcohol is powerful beyond me. My life has become unmanageable. I cannot control it. It is the master. I am the slave. And if I am to get myself back, I need to address this problem. It is only you, and that starts by being honest with yourself.
Now, using yourself as an example, at what stage did you, or what effects, negative effects and impact did the alcohol have on you?
If I'm to go negativity on alcohol, Sophie, I think the show would require 2 hours. But one...
those major ones that you really feel took a toll on you.
Took a toll on me. One, I became a disgrace. I was a nuisance. I was a menace to society. I was a misfit. Someone who once had a job. I'm a seasoned writer previously with the Observer newspaper. I was a sports talk show host on one of the top radio stations. I hold a master's degree in public administration and management, a bachelor's degree in mass communication, but I was no longer employable. I was no longer someone that you could trust. You know, I was no longer reliable. I lost my dignity, not just in my friends, but even to my own family members, to my own peers. I couldn't be able to relate and socialize with them because of what I had become. When you reach that state, Sophie, you start hating yourself. When you hate yourself, you hate the world. You blame them for your undoing. You blame them for the problems that you have, right? So the outcome from that is that you start self-isolating yourself, because every single person that is close and around you is someone that you resent, because they're trying to help you. They're trying to tell you, stop what you're doing. Can't you see that you become a nuisance? Can't you see that your life is tearing apart? However, you cannot listen to them at the moment, because to you, they don't understand what you're going through. And the truth is, they don't know. What they are crying out for is telling you to stop. But they do not have a single clue the underlying factors that are making you do this. And that is the biggest problem that we have when we're dealing with addiction and addiction recovery world over. The substance abuse is just a symptom of so many underlying factors that this individual is actually battling with. They're battling with loss, they're battling with grief, they're battling with failure, with mixed expectations, they're battling with failed relationships. All of those things bottled up in one. They are depressed, they are anxious. You know? They don't have the answers to the questions that they're looking for. So when you bottle that all in, the outcome is someone resorts to a substance as a way of solace. Yes.
Now for you at your level, I'm sorry, I'm going to take it a turn a little bit and say, how did family come in to support you? Because most cases you'll find, even if somebody just slips into depression, the first thing is the family will want to take them to Butabika Hospital. When you're having the issues of addictions, did family come in at any one point to say, no, this is where we are going to take you? Because they find a way of cornering you around because they love you and they would like to see you get better.
You see, love is a very beautiful thing, Sophie. And I received support from family, and at particular instances, they also, a bigger part of them also gave up. Not because they didn't know what to do, but they no longer knew how to help. And this happens to so many societies world over, because addiction is extremely annoying. And when in addiction, one of the peculiar things is that as addicts, we are very intelligent people. Because of being very intelligent, we are very manipulative. We will actually look at you, size you up, evaluate you, and say, now, this is what I should tell Sophie. This is what Sophie wants to hear. I'll tell you what you want to hear. Because I already know, you don't know what I'm going through. But because I need you to get off my back, I'll just say, let me do this, just for the sake of doing this. So you will tell someone, I'm quitting, I'm ending this, I know what I want. Anyway, the moment they turn their back like this, you are on to that thing. So when that happens once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, the person just says, to hell with this individual. Let me give up on them. No, if they want, it is their life. If they die, let them die. At least I've tried. The Lord knows that I put in an effort. But the most important thing is not having someone by your side. And I am lucky that I had someone by my side who never gave up on me, who said, no, I still have this good. Felix still has good in him. Felix can be restored. And my family was very supportive in this journey. And it's one of the biggest blessings that I have as an individual. Not very many people get the support that I was able to get. And I am here because of that support. If I didn't have that support, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If I didn't have that support, I wouldn't be alive. Like literally, I would be dead. I would be 6 feet under to the level at which addiction had taken me. I was jobless. I was homeless. I was either spending the nights in a bar, on a bus stool, on the streets, or in a police cell. That is how bad it was. Yeah. Now, so without support, but also how does that support come? Because sometimes you want to support someone, but then you don't know how to offer them the support. And then in most cases with addiction, you're like, this person is looking terrible. Look at the clothes that they're wearing, the torn shoes. It seems like they have not taken a bath in like weeks. They look malnourished. So someone will just say they need money. Now, when you give money to an addict, you're empowering the addiction. They will tell you, I'm going to eat food, I'm going to get these clothes clean. the brain, 98% is going to say, as you fix this, you first go and first top up, steady up, balance the boat properly. So you're enabling, you're throwing fuel to the fire. So you have to first understand, make an assessment of this person. What is it that can help them try to open up? You have to tear down the wall of this individual, to just listen to them, understand what they are telling you in between the lines. And that is some of the first set of tools that you have to use when you're trying to help someone beat addiction. Understand them from their point of view and where they stand.
Okay. Now, Julius Kawuzi, I'd like to request you to, Felix has been kind enough to share with us a picture of what he looked like at the point when he had addiction. Kindly share it with the viewers, because they would like to see what Felix actually did look like. That's what Felix looked like, and at that point, he had lost weight. He was like 47 kgs.
I was 47 kilograms.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Now, that is what addiction can do, because you don't eat, you sleep in terrible places. That is if you sleep at all. You're always worried. You hate yourself, basically. To put it actually blatantly, I wasn't living, I was existing. You just stay for the moment and for the next drink, for the next drink. That is what happens. It gets even worse. There are people who people lose their legs, people lose their arms in bar fights. People die. I've lost friends, colleagues who have passed away due to alcohol addiction, because they did not get the help that they need, because they weren't even willing to accept the help, because that is also another factor. Not everyone is willing to accept the help, because at a certain point, many addicts give up on themselves. They're like, I am gone. There's nothing left to fight for. And it is the people around us, the people around the people struggling, that have to tell them, all is not lost. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. But there is effort that has to be put in for us to walk this journey. And that is why I'm very proud and happy that you invited me here today, because this show is not for me. My story is not for me. My story is for you out there who's struggling in silence, who doesn't know where help can be got, who thinks that the addiction has taken you up. No, it has not. You are not your mistake. You are not your past. You still have your whole life ahead of you, and you can still beat this. As long as you surrender and you give in and you say enough is enough. Can I actually walk this journey? And the most important thing about walking this journey of recovery from addiction is that you don't have to give yourself a year, a month, a week. It is one step at a time, one day at a time. Wake up one morning, tell yourself, can I get to midday without taking a drink? Can I push it? Can I try to resist? Do I have the willpower? If I'm failing to get the willpower, can I get a few things to make me busy within that period? Can I get myself engaged? When you hit midday, please celebrate, because it is a victory. And from the small victories, you'll be able to reach 4 p.m. From 4 p.m., you'll reach 6 p.m. Before you know it, it is midnight. That is one day. And slowly, gradually, you end up pushing and pushing. Of course, you have to have tools around you that help you in this entire process. You can't do it on your own. No man is an island. You have to have enough literature around you. You have to have a support system around you. You have to know the right things to do. Luckily, I was able to be taken to a rehab, and I was handled by professionals that deal with addiction. Now, the number of people that get the luck that I get, I don't even know the statistics, but I believe it must be 0.0 something%. Because one, rehab is expensive. Not everyone has those resources lying around with the financial situations that our economy is having. And even if someone has those resources, there are resources that they question themselves, saying, now, if I invest my money in this individual to try and help him, what is the guarantee that this individual is actually going to change? And every single rehab will tell you they cannot guarantee it, because they're dealing with human beings. We are unpredictable, but they will give you the promise of, we will do our best to try and handle the situation. So even if it is a parent, even if it is a sister, a brother, an uncle, an auntie, a nephew, a niece, they will question, should I really invest my money in this person? Can they really get back? So there are all of those challenges, but I am blessed that I was among the people that were able to get that particular help, and I was discharged, and I got enough tools to help me journey, and that is why I have been able to stay steadfast, to be able to not relapse. A bigger number of people that actually go down this road end up relapsing when they come back. Just last evening, when I posted on my socials that I would be hosted by you this morning, I happened to pass by YMCA for basketball practice, and I met 3 colleagues of mine, and they were telling me, we've just seen your post. Tukulabe ku mutimbagano. But why did you do something like that? Where abisa?
Oh dear.
You see? Now, that is the perception that the public has, that vulnerability is weakness. But vulnerability is strength, because so many people are struggling out there, Sophie, but they do not know, one, where to go. They do not know where to start. Most of them are afraid because of the stigma that society has. They are rightful thinking members of societies. They hold very powerful positions. So it becomes quite peculiar when they're out there and someone tells them, oh, so-and-so's son has an alcohol problem. So-and-so's daughter say, oh, I thought those were well off. Oh, they go to proper schools, they have the right resources. How can they do that? So they end up not dealing with the problem and trying to stay behind corridors. And what happens with that is that the problem just intensifies and intensifies. So beating that stigma also is a very huge challenge that we have. The stigma of society that, oh, how can someone say that they're struggling with addiction? And to anyone watching out there, addiction is a disease, contrary to public opinion that addiction shouldn't be treated as a disease. It is a disease. And just like any disease, it has symptoms, it has signs. And you have to deal with the symptoms and signs. That is how you get to the core of the disease, and that is how you dismantle it.
How long were you in rehab? Because there are certain times, recovery, I know, takes a lot of period of time, but it takes a lot of your input, you as the individual who is in rehab at that time.
I was in a rehab in Gulu. It's called PACTA Uganda. PACTA stands for Prevention, Awareness, Treatment of Alcoholism and Addictive Substances. And I was there for a total of 92 days. That is 3 months. That is from the start of 1st of March 2025 to the 1st of June 2025. Now, that was 3 months, but there could be more. Some people go and spend 6 months, others 9 months, or others even a year. And that depends on the assessment done by the professionals, the professional counselors, the professional clinical therapists, who actually come up with a report that the damage that has been done to get back. Because recovery is two-way. It is physical, because your insides are actually very damaged. One, your liver is damaged. You know, your renal system is damaged. That's your kidneys and your pancreas. So there's restoration of that, which will take a particular time. The detox process and the restoration of your liver enzymes plus your pancreas and your kidneys. Then comes the hard part, the restoration of your mental abilities. Can you get back to a reset? Can you be able to learn how to open up? Can you be able to learn how to love yourself? What we call inner peace, inner healing. Yeah? Now that inner peace will help you release all these other issues that you have: anxiety, anger, depression, mood swings. You'll be able to make amends to the people that you hurt while you are within this addiction. But most importantly, you will be able to make a moral inventory of yourself. You'd look back within you and say, one, what good things have I benefited from abusing alcohol? And I'll kid you not, if you are to write them down, I believe you will never go past 5. But when you flip the page and say, let me write down the bad things that have happened to me from abusing alcohol, the things that I've lost physically, let's say cash, furniture, and everything. When it comes to phones, I think I've not met an alcoholic who can keep a phone for about a month. If they are there, the phone has a damaged screen, because somehow it will fall along the way. Now, when it gets to the situation where I was, most alcoholics have these button phones, and they are kept at a bartender of a kafunda. They go to make a call and they return the phone, because the phone is security for you to get another drink when you don't have money. Now, after a certain period, you cannot pay the debt, obviously. About 98% will not be able to pay the debt, so the phone will remain there. Then you come to friends, you come to relationships, because when you're in addiction, the biggest problem is that you are selfish. You care about two things in this world. It is your drink and yourself. Everything else is background noise. You do not care. So if you have a girlfriend and she's complaining about your drinking, about you becoming a mess, that is her problem. It is not yours. Are you high? Yes, she will be fine. If it is a family member, it is a relative. Oh, can't you see that? Oh, to swaza, this and this. Why? Me, I'm not ashamed of myself. Why are you caring so much? Mind your business, stay in your lane, let me stay in my lane. That is the level of selfishness that addiction pushes you over to. Okay? You don't care about their feelings. And one thing that most people out there don't know is that the people around you, the support system that is around you, the people that love you, the people that care about you, actually suffer much more than you, the addict and the victim. If it is a mother, if it's a father, if it's a sister, a brother, an uncle, they will be worried as hell. They will be questioning their abilities. They will wonder what actually went wrong. They will think something is peculiar. Why is this individual the black sheep in the family? Why is he the one who has failed? So before you know it, there is stress, there is anxiety, there is depression from the people around you. The person they are being worried about doesn't care that they are worried. We've seen from my various dealings with different clients in my organization, Besania Counseling and Wellness Center, addiction has broken homes, families. You see a husband kicking out the wife. Why? Your son is an alcoholic. This is not my son. I cannot have such a child as my boy. Now it is two things. I either move out of the house or he goes. You've seen marriages break because of alcohol abuse. The man is drinking endlessly. Let's say he lost his job. Now the frustration of him not being man enough, him not being able to provide for his family, but then he comes back home late. So there's constant bickering, fighting. Where do you get the money to drink? Where you can't pay school fees, there's no yaka, the landlord is knocking on the door. Before you know it, domestic violence. The family is broken because of addiction.
At Besania, your counseling and wellness, center, what are the majority of the addictions that you see that seem to be spanning out? Is it alcohol or drug abuse, drug addictions?
The biggest form of substance abuse at the moment is drugs. It is not alcohol. When people have a lot of access to high quality, high-end drugs, how they get into the country, we need to do a thorough investigative report. And this is a call out to police and the necessary authorities. And you even wonder, and it is so easy right now with the evolution of technology that it happens on the comfort of your phone. All you have to have is data, know a particular website, go on the website, log in your details. It's basically like ordering a cab online. Or ordering for a safe border to come and pick you up. So you go on this particular app, you actually put in your location, you put in the substance that you want, they ask you, then you make a confirmation deposit to prove your seriousness of that particular matter. Yes, and a phone call will come, you'll actually receive a call, and the delivery man will bring the drug to you.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah.
Now,
so it is that bad, and still from my experience with Besania, it is extremely terrible when it comes to schools. And schools have to actually up on their security levels, because you find teenagers, and because of the exposure that we have, they consume a lot of information, and social media has taken away the moral fabric of society. It has broken it down. You'll see someone posting so many good things about themselves, their friends, what they're doing, but in actual sense, they're masking the hollowness that they have inside. So to keep up those appearances, people are running into drugs, people are living fake lives.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Very true. Now, because the reason we really appreciate this coming from you and your recovery story is because there's someone out there who is pretty much also struggling with a similar situation. Then this is, good morning, it's Andrew from Boise. For him, he says he's addicted to cigarettes. And he says, please help me to recover. What word do you have for him? Word or two?
What I can have for him and other people struggling with different forms of addiction, the first step is to seek help. Now, what is the first basic help which is actually not paid for? We have support groups. Currently, we have various AA groups. AA, for someone who's watching out there, stands for Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, Alcoholics Anonymous is for basically beating alcohol. And we have NA, which is Narcotics Anonymous. Now, these particular groups are in various places all over the country, all over in Kampala here. If you just go on your phone or on whatever device that you have and you just put AA Uganda, you'll go to the website and it will show you various locations where you can actually get help. Now, what happens when you go to these support groups? You find individuals who are also struggling with the same. You'd find there a professional or professionals who know how to help you. And you are not going to pay money for this. Okay? You are going to talk with individuals and you're going to share your strength, hope, and lifestyle. And you'll get to know the various steps that you can take in actually beating this particular form of addiction. There will be medical procedures, there will be your own personal procedures, because addiction requires discipline. It requires you to change your lifestyle. It requires you to change the things that you do, change your pattern. Which places do you go to? Which people do you socialize with? Which type of life do you want to live? But most importantly in these support groups is that you will get to learn to appeal to a higher power. Addiction is spiritual and recovery is also spiritual. Without your response to a higher power, you cannot recover fully. It does not matter what you believe in. Every single person in this world, Sophie, has a higher power that they subscribe to. I personally subscribe to God Almighty and Jesus Christ. Another person will subscribe to something else. But everyone subscribes to something. Be it, if you're a traditionalist, you still subscribe to something. So
true.
The way you understand your God, you reach out to that God, and that God will save you. The God that I believe in, Jesus Christ, is the person that saved me. He will do for you things that you cannot do for yourself. He will open doors that you will not be able to open. He will give you strength when you don't have that strength. He will move those mountains for you if you believe, but you have to also put in that effort. So when you go to these support groups, you find that most addicts are spiritually bankrupt. I was spiritually bankrupt. Now, by joining these support groups and attending them regularly, even if it is once a week, it is usually a 1 hour session. That 1 hour session, you will walk away when you feel a load has been lifted over you. It will, even if you don't say anything, the only due or requirement you need whenever you join these support groups is your desire to quit whatever substance that you're abusing. It is not money, it is not what. All you need is to invest your time, 60 minutes, which you even invest much more. You can spend a full night in a bar. You don't know how the night goes. So these are 60 minutes. These are 60 minutes of restoration. These are 60 minutes of belief. These are intangible things that are not sold in a shop, that you cannot buy. Belief, hope, trust. You will get them from that support group.
Then,
and they will help you soldier on.
Okay, so you have this one. My name is Solomon. I'm from Bethel Ame Group in Mbale. We have been addressing youths about addiction just last week. Counseling and therapy for groups and individuals help you better understand your problem with alcohol and support recovery from psychological aspects of alcohol use. You might benefit from couples or family therapy. Family support can be an important part of the recovery process. It does actually acknowledge, because you said your family was quite supportive.
Support is very, very important. Just knowing that there's someone out there who says, I got your back. We can do this. You can do this. And one of the things that it does, like in my case, I always kept on wondering. My sister has been very, very supporting. She has been my champion in this journey. And Belinda, I know she's actually watching right now. Thank you so much. I will forever be in your debt for this, because she never gave up on me. And even myself, when I felt like I was going to break, when I felt that, no, this perhaps I've done enough. How can I handle this? You question yourself and you're like, there's someone who hasn't given up on me. If I give up on myself, I'm giving up on them and all the effort that they have been through. No? But if I don't give up and I push on, if I persevere, I'll actually be able to beat this war. I'll be able to get back on my feet. And every single time you make a step towards that recovery, you see change, you see this person talking to you and you can hear the excitement, the relief in their voice. Just simple words of, Felix, I believe in you. Felix, you can make it out of this. Felix, you have a lot of potential and you can journey on. Anyone out there, they're soothing words, and just knowing them, the next time you say a drink, you'll be like, no, I went down the drain because of this. I'm putting it away. And you move on, one step at a time, one day at a time.
Now we have this one who says, it's just the right time. I'm passing through the same right now. I've been to rehab, yet it hasn't changed. I'm struggling with alcohol and cigarettes. I've lost a job. Right now I'm jobless, luckily staying with an auntie. I hope it's a sign for me today that God brought forward this program. Thank you. What's your advice to this gentleman?
The gentleman has been to rehab,
yes,
and they have backslid. And that is not the end of it. And when you backslide, when you relapse, you have to pick yourself up, because it is not the end. We're all humans. We're not perfect. We're prone to different types of temptations. And part of the things that get us better is, the biggest advice I can give to him is, one, avoid triggers. Avoid things that lead you to push you to these things. You know, there's this saying that whenever you frequent a salon at one particular time, it will be your time to be shaved. Even if you don't need a haircut, but you're always frequenting the salon. Oh, these are my friends. I've just gone there to pass time. At one particular time, you will be shaved. So, one, avoid going to places where avoid going to bars. Go there where it is necessary. I'm a very huge Arsenal supporter. I'm a very big basketball enthusiast and lover and stakeholder. I love rugby so much. But I attend rugby games, I attend basketball games, I watch my favorite football team play in various bars, but I know it's not, when the match ends, I have no business there, okay? I have no business. My business is done. The excitement is done, because soccer will not be that interesting when you're watching alone and we're all being the experts as we usually are, the spectators. When it's done, please vacate, right? Make yourself be around people that actually encourage you. Do something constructive. Read a book. Try to make yourself busy by visiting the things that you like. You know, when you're in addiction, you forget to love yourself. So taking time off and just saying, can I just be by myself? Can I get to love myself? Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love another person. And when you don't love yourself, that's one of the things that lead to addiction. Because you'll be like, this alcohol is burning. When I put it on my tongue, it's like fire. But why am I if it burns my tongue like this, what does it do to my intestines? Now, if you love yourself enough, you will know that, no, I shouldn't be putting this stuff in my body. My body is awesome. My body is great. You know? Don't do that kind of stuff. If you're in a bar and let's say at a party, you've taken 1, 2, 3, 4 bottles of beer, why are you continuing? If you love yourself enough, you'll be like, no, I shouldn't go beyond the limit. Because going beyond the limit is what leads to the addiction. It's what leads to you being a nuisance of yourself, right? So self-love is very important. Some of these habits that can get us out of addiction are just right there in front of us. But it is a lack of discipline in implementing them that usually makes us fail. And sometimes that's why we always need someone on your back to always get us back onto the road whenever we're failing. No, you need to do this. You need to do this. You need to pray regularly. You need to exercise. You know, keeping healthy. Attend the gym. If you can't afford the gym, at least try to go and jog a bit, you know, so that your body is active. Get those toxins out of your body. You know, talk to someone. You know, one of the things that leads to addiction is our inability to open up about the small, tiny things that bother us, the things that keep us up late at night. Find someone you trust, a friend. It doesn't matter how small or insignificant something might seem. everything is important in this world. By opening up and sharing with another person, you're relieving on that. You know? But the moment you keep on battling and bottling up something, you add it on another frustration. Now you have frustrations from the workplace, you have frustration from your boss, you have unfinished work, you have frustration with, let's say, with your neighbor, then you have frustrations in your relationship, then you have frustrations with your family, let's say aunties, uncles, or grandparents. You are just one individual. You can't keep that all in. But by sharing with another person, it helps relieve that. Just being open.
Now, I'd like to ask you, what did you replace the alcohol with? Because there's certain times where they'll tell some people, if maybe you're a Coca-Cola addict, you know, to get off the caffeine, maybe resort to drinking a lot of teas, a lot of something that keeps, you know, still the, you develop a new habit, I think I would say.
Yes.
Kindly guide.
In our studies and in everything, it's called cross addiction. What you just said, what did you replace
the alcohol
with? Of late, I take a lot of coffee, but now I've been advised by the professionals and my clinical therapist. I'm reducing it because I'm not a fan of taking sodas that much. Yeah, so I take coffee most of the time when I'm out watching various sports disciplines that happen at late hours, 10, 11 p.m. So that is what I usually do. But in most cases, most people tend to also go to tea or just go to soft drinks and something of the sort. And we had a question there of someone who said that his addiction is cigarettes. Now, beyond the support groups and everything, you can also go and get a prescription of anti-craving tablets. But of course, you can't purchase them over the counter. That's why my first statement was you can first go get a prescription, talk to someone. There are anti-nicotine tablets that will reduce and numb the urge for that. So there's help out there. We just have to look at these places. We just have to know that this is my journey and it is me to actually get up and walk and move and travel it. No one else is going to help you do this. Rehab, like I said, rehab will give you 40% of the tools that you need. The 60%, Sophie, is your personal initiative, your strong willpower. It will give you the tools, it will guide you to walk the journey, and you have to walk the journey. It is a messy journey, but it is worth every single ounce and bit of movement because it restores you. It gets you back to the person that you are. It opens up your eyes. You get to see the world differently.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you know, so many times people climb mountains to see the world. Well, no, people climb mountains for the world to see them. But with sobriety, your eyes are different. You don't climb the mountain for the world to see you. You climb the mountain to see the world. And that happens because with sobriety opens up the doors of hell. And when it opens up the doors of hell, it opens them up to kick you out. Say, out of this. You don't belong here. Go out, go back to the world where you're supposed to be. Go and make a difference. Go and make a change. And that is one of the core essences of Bessania Counseling and Wellness Center, to help another struggling individual out there get themselves up, get themselves clean. Because the beauty about helping another struggling addict is that every single time you help someone and you make an impact onto their lives, every single time you make and try to ensure that someone is changing, you are also helping yourself. I'm also helping myself. I'm becoming stronger. My willpower is becoming more greater. And whenever you do good, good also comes back to you.
Very true.
Offers come your way, and divine intervention moves with you. The Lord even protects you much more. The Lord has opened up so many doors which I would never believe would have been opened by just me also trying to help another person. Because by helping them, you have them bless you, you have them pray good things for you. You're not just helping that individual, but you're supporting a friend, a loved one, a spouse who is affiliated to that person, who is struggling because that person is in addiction. You are helping actually a full community by doing that.
So you have, this is Ivan. I've ever used drugs some time back, but started feeling anxiety I lost smell and mood swings, and I tried to get some medication, but the situation persists. I'm really tired.
The situation persists and he's really tired.
Yeah.
My advice to Frank would be, one, he has to go visit a health professional. He has to talk to a therapist, and by talking to a therapist, it will help address the one key issue that he has said there. He has unrest. He's anxious. He's anxious because these results, Sophie, don't come in one day. Because the problems that drive us to addiction don't just fall out of the sky. It is not just an accident, like you're moving on the street and a border man recklessly driving knocks you on the pavement, yet he's supposed to be on the other side of the road. No, they are built over time because of different incidences, different issues, different societal things, different upbringings. And the other thing, Sophie, addiction is also hereditary.
True.
It comes as a fact that there is a member in your family tree who actually was abusing the drugs. There's a member in your family who actually was an alcoholic. Yes, and so those genes are passed on. And you can never get to the core of all of this unless you deal with a professional. You journey with them. You journey with them to know exactly what is your family tree like. How has your upbringing, the things that you went through in society as you were growing up, the environment, how have they shaped you? How do they determine the decisions that you make? How do they affect and impact on your problem-solving abilities? Do you get a problem and you actually seek for help? Do you believe that you can always just handle it on your own, that you want to be the alpha? Do you believe that some help will always be on its way whenever something is wrong? You always just put up your hand and help will always be coming? All of that is in the way that we are brought up. So when you come and you get professional help, it answers all of these particular aspects. That is why I was saying that most people would look at someone struggling with addiction and just say, stop, why are you doing this? Can't you see it's not good for you? That is just a symptom. That is an outcome of so many underlying factors. Try to find out more about this person. Let them try to let them tear down the wall that they are putting in front of them. Understand them. How were they raised? Were they raised by a single parent? Have they ever been in a functional family? How did it affect their lives? What have they grown up seeing? Because the things that we grow up seeing, we normalize them. Have they been growing up seeing that my dad is abusing my mom doesn't respect my dad, it is okay to actually drink alcohol, it is okay to be a nuisance, it is okay for a weekend or what, and every single time daddy comes back, he's holding a bottle. So by the time this child, daughter or son is and their teenage age, it is okay for him to grab a bottle of beer. When they're with their friends, it will be cool. Okay? And how have you nurtured your child? I deal with a number of students who are just in their early teenage ages, and they come from well-to-do families and backgrounds, but they are abusing drugs. And the reason as to why they are abusing drugs is because they want to fit in with their peers. They believe that they don't fit in. When they come to play games or when they try to interact with them in different practices in the academies, they realize that they are of a different breed, what we call the planned kids these days. Okay? Now the planned kids in this particular setting want to belong because they don't belong. Now that all comes to parenting. How have you handled this child? How have you groomed them as a parent? How have you let them be able to make decisions, choices? How are they free with one another? So by doing this, they think that will make me be cool, that will make me socialize with these guys because they always segment me. I have to do something to be the bad guy. You know, I have to be the bad girl. You know, I have to get a boyfriend. I have to get high. Can you imagine? So and so, whenever we're having a discussion, or they were making, each one was telling a story of how they were struggling with a hangover. Now this person has never had a hangover. So it means during that part of the conversation, they have nothing to share. So the outcome would be, they want to test what it feels like to have a hangover. And it goes down to parenting. So the parent will be like, why are you doing this? Why are you this? They will lambast the child. Have you actually gone back to realize, why did this child drink? Why are they like this? And it broadens. So that is why professional help is very essential in dealing with addiction.
Okay, now you have, this is Okrut Gerard from Kampala, Chisasi. I really need your help for me to avoid alcohol, because when I have not taken alcohol, I feel like I'm not feeling well. I need to know how I can avoid alcohol forever without thinking about it. Many of the questions that are coming in are pretty much in line with I need to know, okay? Many of them are pretty much in line with I have a son addicted. I have been requesting, and they are requesting for your telephone number. Many others are also requesting for your number to be able. Then, hello friends, praise the living God. I'm very gratefully blessed to hear from your life lesson story. I'm personally, I'm a social worker, and I have a lot of these people in society. They're very happy that you were able to come and open up on this subject.
Thank you so much.
Then, okay, Sophie, please send us the full details of Felix's contact. This is Musinguzi from Masindi. They would like your contact. Then thank you for hosting and raising awareness on alcohol addiction. My question to him is, if deep down he blames his parents for his addiction or his peer influence, what of his faith or environment? This is Emma. Emma is just curious to know where or who would you blame for your addiction at the time when you were?
Before I share my contacts and also other details, I believe we should start with the last question. I don't blame anyone for my addiction. I don't blame my parents. I don't blame society. I have no one to point a finger to, because oftentimes we always look for the fall guy. There is no fall guy, because various people go through various things. Various people go through what I went through, and the biggest cause of my alcohol addiction started with the loss of my mom. My mom was my everything. We were raised by a single mother. So losing my mom in 2012, March 24th, was the worst and most trying time of my life. Because my mom was my life and my everything, and my friend, my knight in shining armor, the glue that kept me together. To me, life stopped. My clock stopped. Time remained moving, but the clock of Felix Seopal stopped. And I couldn't show that to the world. I tried to mask it. That is why the problem escalated so much. Because I couldn't sleep. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know how to explain it to someone. See, when you lose a loved one, the biggest percentage of people that come to you will always tell you, I am sorry, be strong, I know what you're going through. You do not know what that person is going through, because every single person has a different reaction to loss and grief. Every single person bottles it up differently. Every single person processes it differently. Every single person deals with it differently. So, unfortunately, I didn't have the tools to deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. And the people around me also did not know how to deal with me or how to address it. Because on the outside, I was rock solid. Inside of me, I was soft as jelly. I was struggling. I was drowning in pain, in grief, in confusion, you know, in doubt, in so many blame issues of like, I wish if I lived a better life, she would still be there. If I had done this, perhaps she would still be alive. If I had not done this, all of those things bottled up in my head. Now, because of that, alcohol became my refuge, my rescue, all right? And it made me very selfish. I shut out the world. I shut out my ability to actually connect and love. That is why I had so many failed relationships, because I wasn't able to love. I was hurting. I was bleeding. So there's no way I could give what I did not have, right? So the bottle, my inability to deal with that led to the constant abuse, gradually. And you find so many people are in the same place where I was, where they're functioning alcoholics. I would still go to work. I would still be able to do different things, meet certain targets, but constantly on a running drip of alcohol, because it is what, it was a drip. Because constantly, it didn't matter what time of day, what season, any time, was drinking time for Felix. I always used to move with a mineral water bottle. And whenever you'd find me, you'd think Felix is actually taking mineral water.
Kumbe.
Within that bottle of mineral water is a quarter of walaji. Now we're talking this local brew walaji, the one that they measure. Usually it starts from 500 shillings, by the way. Not that I could not afford the other one, but this one had more effect. You would achieve results faster than taking so many bottles of beer and everything.
The distilled one.
Yes. So, and I had access to a lot of alcohol from my nightlife as an entertainment and arts and culture reporter. You know? So even my constant being at those events and writing the stories and everything was a way of me hiding, because the fun, the what and everything, it drowned my sorrows, it drowned my pain. So you'd see me smiling and all of that, but whenever I would sit back and just try to be with myself as an individual, I would cry. But I wouldn't let anyone see my tears, you know, because I was the hype guy, I was the cool guy, I was the one who knew this one knew me. Felix would get us here. Felix can, oh, you want access to this nightclub, Felix. You want access to this show, Felix knows this one. You want this particular musician, somehow Felix has the contact, and when he calls, they're on first name basis. I stopped covering the events and I became the event myself. You know, so but all of that I was masking pain.
True. And
so many people are in the same place where they are masking pain, and the only way that they are relieving this pain is through abusing substances. I know so many corporate friends and who are who take drugs seriously, not cocaine, not weed. You know, you can just go down on your tablet or on your phone and you Google. You even just use normal AI and say, I need to get high. What drugs can I mix? It will give you the percentages. Take tramadol, take Clymarine, take this, take 25 grams, take this grams, take 2 tablets, 3 tablets. It will give you a height for approximately 4 to 5 hours. You need to be within this particular weight bracket properly. So because of office stress, work stress, relationship stress, you find someone locked in and they have zoned out. You find parents with children at home. Oh, my son is like that. He's a loner. Like on the weekends, he spends the whole day in his room. He's just there on TV, on the phone and the laptop. He will come out when you switch off the Wi-Fi. The person who is in the room, there are high chances that that boy or girl is high, because it is their way of coping to everything. Because every single time he gets out of that room, he has expectations from the parent. The parent expects him to be up stout, straight up. He shouldn't be anything else other than what they want him to be or want her to be. She can't be with this particular set of friends. If she's going out, it has to be on a routine. Where is she going? Basically, she can't be herself, or he can't be himself. Now, because he's living a life that he is not in, he has to find ways of coping. Okay, he can't reveal himself. So openness, honesty, these are things that people need to learn. And I think I've answered the gentleman out there that there's no one to blame. I don't blame anyone. I don't blame anyone besides myself. And that is why it reached a point of self-realization. And I stopped lying to myself. I stopped blaming the world. I stopped blaming circumstances. And I said, this is my life. If it is not me to take it back, then no one else is. And to anyone out there, whenever you're facing this, look back, find the power within you, because you have the power within you. You have the power to undo what has been done to you. You have the power to rewrite that story. You just have to take one bold step, just one step towards that. And all the other bits will come on. You don't have to say, I need a roadmap of a full month of what I'm going to do. No, it is one step at a time, one day at a time. Okay.
Now then I'm going to read out for you some of the viewers' participation. But first, my guy Felix, thanks for the words of wisdom. That is Umaru. I guess you know him. Then good morning. This is Mark from Mokono. May I want to stop watching pornography. I have no problem with alcohol. Thank God I don't take it. And then thank you, Mama Sophie, for this morning presentation of overcoming alcohol addiction. I request you to represent it on next Wednesday for my friend to attend it. Okay. Then hello friends. Okay. I'm very gratefully blessed to hear from your life lessons. Okay, this was the social worker. Now this one comes up with something and says, secondary school, this one says, okay, this is still Musinguzi in Masindi. He's asking some personal questions. He would like to even know the secondary schools you went to whom and who does
I'll
Felix...
respond to him after the show.
He's asking to whom do you attribute the flawless language. He's asking how old you are, if you're married, if you have any kids. That is very personal. Okay, then hello.
Respond to them.
Hello. Thanks a lot for the presentation. May I get Felix's contacts? Regards. This is Wilbert from Cote d'Ivoire, he says. Thank you for the program. It's Isaac. He's in West Nile. I think to overcome alcohol addiction, there should be an addiction of bitter ingredients in alcohol drinks, and they should be highly taxed. That's what he thinks. Okay.
Increasing the tax is not going to be one of the solutions.
I'm telling you, if people can take bitter herbs. This one says, this one is from Ntungamo. He's addicted to masturbation, and he would like a way out. Okay. You can see the addictions are quite many. As we were thinking of only the alcohol, there are quite a number of addictions. Felix, I would like to request you, before we forget, to share your contact. Because people need help.
Sophie, that is what I was going to start with. Thank you so much. To the listeners and people watching us out there, our viewers on the various social media handles. One, you can first start by visiting us on our website. That's Besania Wellness and Counseling Center.com. And also for my contacts, my contact is 0757 305954. That is on WhatsApp. I'll just repeat it, 0757 305954. And my other contact for those of MTN is 0774 50 Codro 6. That is 6 4 times. 0774 50 6666. There you'll be able to reach me. Ironically, my phone is buzzing already right now. I cannot be able to respond, but I'll be able to respond after the show. And talking about other forms of addiction, there's so many things, Sophie, that the world is struggling with. And many people might think that it is peculiar. Yes, people are addicted to watching pornography. People are addicted to risk and uncertainty. That is why you have so many people addicted to sports betting. They have lost jobs, lives, cars,
money,
land,
everything.
So many things because of that addiction to risk and uncertainty. People are addicted to so many things. People are addicted to money. So you find people who are workaholics, who do anything for money. People have sacrificed children. People have done despicable things because of various forms of addiction. And I would like, when you go onto our website, we deal with so many various issues like that. And in case your problem is different, we can still channel you to a particular set of professionals who will be able to deal with you, because I have partnerships with various organizations and rehabilitation centers that deal with various forms of addiction. So even if Besania Wellness and Counseling Center is not able to meet your needs or able to be able to get and deal with your problem, we have partners that I deal with who definitely are well equipped to handle your problem. So to the individual out there who is dealing with a problem of being addicted to watching pornography, please reach out to me and or to go to our website. You can the form and application is as simple as 3 steps. You just have to put in your name, you put in your phone number details, and you either book an appointment, or if not an appointment, you just have to write one word, what problem you have, and we'll be able to get back to you. Okay. My team will be able to get back to you on phone or on email if it's what you prefer. Most people prefer being reached out to on the phone. And I believe there are some people out there who haven't got my number. Is it okay if I can repeat it once again?
Please, you can.
Yeah. For those who missed out on my number, my Airtel, which is also on WhatsApp, is 0757 305954. My alternative number is 774 50 Codro 6. That is 6 4 times.
Then here you are. I'm so happy and proud of you, Felix Epal. This is your Obi, Steve Mukuye.
Oh yes, I know. I do know Steve. I do know Steve.
Then good
We went
morning.
to O-level together.
Oh, good morning. I'm Patrick. Thanks for the program. Me, I've grown up from a drunkard family, so how can you help me? There is nothing I know. Thank God if you have a family where they do drink and you do not drink, it's a blessing. Then you have, hello, I'm so grateful. It's my first time watching this show. I have a brother who is now in prison because he has an addiction to weed. We are planning to take him to Botabika, but because he had become violent, we had to first take him to prison. This is Irene from Mbale.
Well, just to answer Irene, the prison is not a transformation center. Prison is a correctional facility. And what your brother is dealing with is something that needs transformation. He's not a criminal. The violence is as an outcome of abusing the substance. So one, I would ask, first thing is get a professional to talk to him. Get a professional to try and understand what his side of the story is before you already put blame onto him. That is the first step. Then after that, you can start reaching out for help. But the individual also has to be willing to get that help. That is why I keep on emphasizing that it is always paramount to first talk to this individual. Let them see the importance of actually getting the help. Because it's not just a matter of walking someone into a hospital. Do they want to be treated? Do they think that they need to be treated? And in addiction, oftentimes, 90% of addicts will tell you, I do not have a problem. You who is telling me that I have a problem, you are the one with the problem.
True.
I have my life in control. Am I working? Have I borrowed money from you? Do you pay my rent? Do you pay my bills? No. Why are you telling me I have a problem? Because you have to help someone understand that they have gone above and beyond the limit, to comprehend it. That is why in most cases, parents that have taken children to rehab forcefully don't actually see that after they come back, they relapse. Because the individual goes there knowing, I'm going to serve a sentence. This is like going to jail. Let me serve my time. When I come back, I will totally go back to what I'm doing. And because of that, the person is closed out from the counselors who are trying to reach out to him to address the problem. Even when they go to group therapy sessions, these are individuals that will not share because they're like, oh, I'm here for 90 days. Let me attend. I'm ticking a box.
And counting down.
Yes, they keep on counting. Say, 1 week gone. I still have a long way to go. That's why in most rehabs, you don't find their calendars. The calendar is not your friend. You're not there for a calendar. You're there to heal. You're there to embrace what you suffered, what you went through. You're there to evolve. You're there to become a better person, to walk out new, to walk out a person who is different, a person that knows God, a person that is moving with their head high, a person that can really appreciate that, yes, I erred, I made this, but here I am again, and I'm ready to change that, and I'm a different person, I am new. That is what it is.
Then I would like to ask a little bit personal still on you. In terms of medical, based on for the period of time you were drinking, is your health, are all the organs still intact, or you've had an impact as a result of addiction?
I would like to also mention that I'm also a living miracle. When I was taken to rehab, I had started developing what is called liver cirrhosis. Now, liver cirrhosis at a later stage is irreversible, okay? But because of I do not know, and it is the power and grace of God, in 5 weeks, by being on constant medication, I still recall the tablets, the Livolin Forte. Yes, I had to take that on a constant, on a daily basis. It's what the doctors and professionals prescribed for me. My liver was able to be restored back to normalcy. Right now, anyone who's out there, I think I've done, when the last time I donated blood? Oh, December. Anyone there, blood group AB, definitely, you give me a call in case you do so. I'm clean as a whistle.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of myself because of that, and even health-wise, engaging in exercising and all of that. Yeah, this year I made myself a target. I have to at least participate in 4 marathons.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have to participate in 4 marathons. Yeah, just so that, just as a form of encouragement, to other people. And I'll do that with some of my clients as well. We'll take part in different in different marathons as a way of showing that exercising and living healthy is one of the ways to actually beating this struggle that we have, that is addiction, this disease that is addiction.
That is good.
Yeah.
Now, this is Sandy from Chira. She's really liked your story. She says you have enlightened her, and she knows someone who really has suffered from alcohol and substance abuse, and the topic was really necessary, especially hearing it from somebody who's walked the journey and overcome such a situation. She says, thank you so much. Now, we have somebody who's just joined in. Let Felix, the demand for your contacts is just on the high. This is what I seem to be getting.
I wish the producer could just put them up on the screen.
The problem is now getting out there because he has given... Okay, now this person still comes back to you about the one from Mbale. The problem is now getting him out of there because he was given 3 years of imprisonment. She needs advice. Share the contact so you can have a conversation with her.
We also deal with various lawyers, and they can advise, because so many parents believe that by first putting a child in prison is the way that it should be. So there's a team of lawyers. They can actually help you and give advice on how to navigate that particular issue. I'm not an expert in that field, but I can direct them to particular individuals who deal with such particular cases, because I believe one of the reasons that is there could be that it is a mental disorder. But then if it is engineered by this side and with proper hearing, I believe legally it can still be overturned. So I may not be an expert, but I can direct them to the proper people who are specialized in handling such particular cases, and they can be able to give proper guidance on the matter. Okay. Yeah.
Then this one says, she's asking, what is your profession? Because she's very grateful for your story.
Oh, thank you so much. I am a public relations manager at Capital One Group. We are a marketing and public relations firm. We help maintain your public relations with internal and external stakeholders. We build brands and maintain their reputations. Yes, that is what I am seasoned and professionally doing at the moment.
Then this one says, good morning, alcohol is not good. I lost my auntie. She was the breadwinner of the family. She got addicted to it and later died. Just now the family is suffering terribly. This is Opio from Zambia. Opio, sorry for your loss. I know it really feels
very, very sorry for your loss.
Terrible. Yeah. Okay. Then please, Felix, I can't do much about it. Kindly share your number, and then you can share your final message to the person watching you right now.
Well, let me just share my number. I don't know, this would be what, the 4th time?
Exactly.
To the person watching us and the person who has spent the past 1 hour logged in and out there, if you have someone who's struggling, if it is a relative, if it is a friend, if it is a family member, a husband, a daughter, a wife, there is hope, and all is not lost. It is one day at a time. Addiction is a disease, but it is a disease that can be cured just like any other disease. Help is out there, and all you have to do is reach out. All you have to do is reach out. We are not our mistakes. We can always be able to rewrite this and be able to come back stronger. To everyone out there who's still requesting for my phone contact and my address, it is 0757 305954. The alternative number is 0774 50 Codro 6. That is 6 4 times. 0774 50 6666. Thank you so much. And,
okay, and then the name of the organization once again?
The name of the organization is Besania Counseling and Wellness Center. You can find us at Makerere Guest House, or you can reach us on our website, besaniacounselingandwellnesscenter.com, or for the phone contacts that I've read out to you.
Okay, then you have, before I wind up the show, good morning, this is Barbara. I'm grateful for our brother who has passed out messages to our brothers and family. Then thank you, Felix, for candidly sharing your story. Yeah. Okay, now this one is taking us, this is Emma from Seguku. Emma is just like the issues and the concerns you're raising now. It looks like, of course, we've run out of time, and Felix has shared his winding up remarks. I would request that you get in touch with him on the numbers he has shared or on their website. Thank you for the wonderful program. All addictions are spiritual. prayer and fasting can be good help too, alongside rehab. Then, of course,
Yes,
we
it
have
is.
I Need Your Help, I Need Your Help. I would like to request all those who still have concerns. Felix shared his number, or you can also get to him, like he said, on their website. He is definitely going to take all the precious time, just like he has done for the 1 hour, to be able to address your concerns. I would like to say it's not too late to seek help. There are all sorts and forms of addictions, and he will definitely help to guide you if it's not in line with what he can do, but he has also talked about support groups. Thank you so much for keeping it here with us. I beg that you keep watching UBC TV, for we have other educative programs coming your way shortly. Good morning from me and the rest of the team. Your health matters and your voice deserves to be heard. Introducing the show that puts you at the center of the conversation. From common illnesses to complex conditions to the questions you've always wanted answered. Top medical experts.
The cost of maintaining that bed on a daily basis 24/7, because an ICU is a 24/7.